Okay, so we're going to start with our model at its highest subdivision level, and we'll go to each one of these subtools and bring them down to their lowest so that we can use ZMapper. So I have the top of the club selected. I just hit Shift D and bring it all the way down. I go down each subtool, bringing it down to its lowest subdivision level, and then I can use ZMapper. So I'll start up here at the top with the top of the club, go to ZMapper. You can see there's the object, and I can go into object or open configuration here, and if I'm using 3D Max or Maya, I can put in a .zmp file that will correctly calibrate ZMapper for 3D Max or Maya, or possibly your game engine. So these files here are important because they set ZMapper to the configuration that you may need. For example, in this case, I have 3ds Max 8 modified, and so when I'm using 3D Max, I use that setting. But when I'm using Maya, I may set it to one of these Maya settings. Okay, so I can set that up. I can use create projected normal map, and you'll see what it does is it actually creates the normal map based on the object. So it's creating the normal map. I can turn off polyframe, and I can take a look at what that looks like. So what's happening here is that it's actually baked the image of the detail onto the actual geometry. And you can see that it's very low in geometry. All of that detail that's on there is just being faked in there by the normal map. And because a normal map allows you to look at detail as if the light was moving around it, it looks and gives the convincing presentation that there's a lot more detail on there than there really is. In actuality, the only detail on there is that. The rest of it's coming in from the map. Okay, so when I exit ZMapper, you're going to see the normal map show up here in my texture. Okay, and so then I just simply go through each part of the object and do that. I'll go down here to the base. I'll kind of pull this back so that it will show up in ZMapper better. There's the part of the object, the grip. Again, I can turn on polyframe and see what it actually looks like. I can go create projected normal map. If I want to, I can make sure this is set to a setting, in this case for 3D Max. And then I just create projected normal map. Okay, so then I exit, and you can see there is the base. I can do that for the last part of my object, the base of the club. Open configuration. And then I create the normal map for the base as well. So when I'm done creating my normal maps, I just go to texture, and I'm going to export that texture into the appropriate folder. I can save it off as a BMP, and then I will have the normal map for my club. And that's basically the normal mapping process. You go through each one of your subtools, you go into ZMapper, you generate the mapping, you use open configuration if you have a specific setting that you need to put it on, and then you just use create projected normal map to create the texture, or create the normal map. When you exit, it should show up over here, and then this will be a composited version of the different pieces of your normal map. Okay, that's basically how you do normal mapping. The next step will be looking at applying the normal map in Max and Maya.